Guys, today we're gonna check out Slay the Spire, a game that I once played last year in December when I checked out multiple different games to find alternatives to Hearthstone, and now again, we're gonna play it. Here's the funny thing that I didn't find so funny. I've been recording for an hour, and recording meaning I forgot to record. So I talked to myself for an hour straight. So I would say, let's abandon this run and start over. The good thing is that I now know how the game works and what all the different options that you can choose do. So at the beginning of each run, when you hit play, you can either do the daily climb, you can do a custom mode, or we just play the standard mode. You can also have 4 different characters that you can choose. I would just use the main guy because that's how you start the game with. After some time you unlock this guy and this one. And if you win a standard run with this character, we get the last one. But we use the Ironclad, a remaining soldier of the Ironclads. Sold his soul to harness demonic energies. Seems good. And before the video starts, I gotta tell you that this video is brought to you by Skillshare. Skillshare is an online community with thousands of different classes, so whatever you're interested in, you can find it on Skillshare. These classes range from graphic design to productivity to music, and so much more. One class that interests me is a class regarding productivity and how to organize your workflow, because I want to improve in those aspects. Speaking of which, the class I took recently by Thomas Frank is called the Productivity Masterclass, which I highly recommend to any of you because it taught me how to build a system in life that increases my productivity and lowers the stress that I have on a daily basis. Through some simple changes, this actually made a pretty big impact in my life. And if you want to check out the class or something similar, then make sure to click the link in the description down below. If you're one of the first 1,000 people to sign up, you get a free 1-month trial of the premium membership. And within the 1-month trial, you can check out every single class on there. And I can tell you, there are thousands. So thanks again to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. And now let's get back to it. A giant whale that we talk to greets us. We can start this run by getting 100 gold that we can use to purchase either cards or elixirs later on, even relics I think. We could lose some max HP and get more money. We could lose this relic over here, so we don't restore 6 HP at the end of the combat and get a random one. And I think I'm a fan of the random one. Astrolabe. Upon pickup, transform 3 cards, then upgrade them. Transform cards become a random card of any rarity. I think one of those. One of each. Oh, they're random now. Oh. And now we never heal at the end of combat. See? That's how it feels to play a roguelike. So let me give you the overview of what is about to happen. You can see this very long map with so many different paths and decisions that you can make, and at the end you end up here, at the final boss of Act 1. During your journey, you can always choose which path you take, but if you were to take the right path and then go right again, then there's no decision making, and that's pretty boring. It's just streamlined, and I guess if you know what you're doing, you can prepare before anything happens. But I like to click on the random stuff and get the money and the surprises, so I'm probably gonna go left and choose the question mark and the question mark and the random and the bonfire. You can always hover over the legend so you can see when which option appears on the map and how many fights you can do, how many elite fights and boss fights, and it also tells you what you get for doing so. The game itself consists of a couple things. In the top left you can see the relics, so things that you pick up and that upgrade your character in terms of maybe you heal every single turn, maybe you deal some damage, maybe, which I got last run, I got 30 armor on my 3rd turn guaranteed. So I know that when I can attack or block, I don't have to worry about blocking any damage on the 3rd turn. Then we get merchants over here. We can purchase goods from them. We can defeat elite monsters, which then grant us a random relic. We can rest and either upgrade one of our cards or restore 30% of our health. And the unknown is pretty funny. It's either you facing another monster if you get unlucky, or you get put into a scenario where you have to choose what you do. If you don't die in the beginning, an average run can easily last like 2 or 3 hours. And that is if you play slowly, think about what you do, then it takes a couple hours. But I would say, let's jump into it. Let's go on the left path and then choose the question marks after. The battle system is straightforward. We have 3 mana in the bottom left corner. This is how much you have available every single turn, and the cost of each card is in the top left corner as well. We can always see what the opponent does before they actually do the action that shows up above them. So we know next turn our opponent is going to deal 11 damage. We go first, so we can now go for block and block, which gives us 10 armor, so we would only take 1 damage, or we deal 6 damage to it. I would say you go for block, deal some damage, and we only take 1. Then they do their action after we attacked. And that is the very basic format when it comes to combat. You can always hover over an enemy to see what it is exactly that they're supposed to do next turn. For example, this one is going to be defensive, which means it intends to block and use a buff. And I would say let's just strike it and use the Reaper to heal for 1. And then we enter our turn. When we have no remaining cards in our deck, in our case we only have 10 cards and we draw 5 each turn, they get put into the discard pile and then shuffled back into our deck. Some cards have keywords like exhaust for example. That means if I use this until the end of this fight, I can't use this card again. Now my problem is the opponent is going to deal 10 damage and we have absolutely nothing. And I don't want to take the damage because we don't heal in between fights unless we go to a rest. So I think we're going to draw some and exhaust this one. And I think we just block here. And end our turn. They also got a strength buff, which increases their attack damage by 3. And I would say, do we just take a hit and defeat it? I think we should do that. I think we double strike, go for block. And the next time we should be able to kill it. Wait, we can't kill it. We take 17. I don't... Oh, this is so bad. I'm losing against... I'm losing against the first boss. Boss meaning the very first NPC I encounter. This is so bad. I just played this game for over an hour. How am I so bad at this? Anyways, double strike and then enemy defeated within 7 minutes. After a battle is won, you always get some gold and you always get the option to add a card to your deck. You pick 1 out of 3 and I think I am a fan of Twin Strike just because it deals damage twice. Or we go with random, which is more fun. Let's go with that. Sometimes you also get a potion, which means up here next to our gold, we can have up to 3 potions, which is like a spell we can use at any point in any combat, but it's a one-time only thing. Also, if you want to, you could skip those rewards, but in the beginning, I like to pick up stuff to make my deck worse and more random. Question mark. What do we get? Before you lies an elaborate shrine to an ancient spirit. Desecrate and gain 275 gold. Or B, become cursed. Cursed means we get a regret card into our deck, which is unplayable, and we lose HP equal to the amount of cards in our hand. I think I just take the gold for free. As your hand touches the shrine, gold rains from the ceiling, showering you in riches. Hey, free money. So now we could do another battle, or we click on random. I like the question mark, and it's a battle anyways. Okay. Right now, they have a strategic effect, which means they intend to use a buff. Sometimes they have this sign when they want to debuff us or give us a negative effect. We could heal some, or we go with a random. What do we get? We get Cleave. Deal 8 damage to all enemies. Yeah, I think we just go in and deal some damage. What I noticed in my last run, and I'm pretty sure it's random when it comes to what you actually encounter, I had multiple AoE effects, things that deal damage to more than one enemy, but I only have had like 3 multi-battles. They're gonna deal 6. Not the biggest fan of taking damage when it's unnecessary. Let's go with that. Now they have this Ritual Feather, which means they gain 3 strength at the end of their turn for 3 turns. Or less turns. Multiple turns? So what we're gonna do is we just block, deal some damage, and the next turn, hopefully, if we're lucky, kill the Birdman. We get deal 8. We get that. Easy clap. Bird, get out of here. We can get Gold Duplication Potion. This turn, your next card is played twice. That seems pretty good. Add a card to your deck. Do we want gain 5 and deal 5? Do we want Ethereal, gain 10 block? What is that? If this card is in your hand at the end of your turn, it is exhausted. Exhausted cards are removed from... Oh, so we kind of need to play it when we get it. We already have AoE effects, and Iron Wave is more like, meh, I take this one. Next battle. So in this case, having AoE effects is really good. So it can be like, pew. Heal 10. Hit that. Easy clap. What is the green thing? Wants to inflict a negative effect on us. What is it? Lick. Rail. Gain 25% less block. Here's the thing. You know that our defend cards gives us 5 block each. I'm not sure about the mathematics behind Slay the Spire, but they always round down. So if we have 5 block and we lose 25%, we would still get 3.75, right? Or you round up and it's 4. They just round down. So we actually gain 40% less. So I think we just go with Thunderclap. Clap that. Now it's vulnerable, so it takes more damage, which means we deal 9 instead of 6. And I guess we get some armor. They lick us yet again. When there's a number next to a negative effect, like Frail in this case, we only have it for a single turn. Same with them having vulnerable for 1 turn. Now because the turn is over, it goes away. That being said, it's still that though. Some gold. Lose 3 HP but gain 2 mana. This is like Innovate for Hearthstone. We can deal 8. I like random still. I think random is the most fun. Let's go to the shop. With the gold that you get after a battle, you can visit the shop. In here you can buy certain cards. One is usually on sale, which makes it cheaper. You can buy some relics that are like passives for your character, and you can buy some potions, which I'm not a fan of because it's boring. or we remove something from our deck. For example, earlier, when we had the option to get 275 gold, but get a cursed card into our deck, we could have now purchased this one, remove the cursed card, and still get 100 more gold, which would have probably been a better option, but hey, didn't think about that. And this is where decision making actually matters. Like, you could think, well, I just purchased the good cards and win. Yeah, no, you also gotta have like synergy in between them, gotta think about what do your relics do, like every 3 times you shuffle your draw pile, gain 2 mana. That could be really good. I think we take the Happy Flower. I like Dark Shackles. No refunds? No refunds. Let's leave the shop and proceed with our adventure. Now we could rest and restore our HP, or we can upgrade a card, or boss battle. Elite Monster right there. When we defeat this one, we get at least 1 more relic in the top left corner. And all they do is they try to buff itself. That's boring. Random. Got that. Got that. Got that. It's basically dead. Rark. And now we have 4 mana instead of 3 because of our Happy Flower. There's also content on the relic itself. And over time, I think you get like 3 to 4 relics every single act. Last run, where I was at the beginning of Act 3, I had like 10 or 12 relics. I think we go with this. If we double the Fend, they go up to 17 attack. I think that's the only thing we can do though. And then let's heal some. Because why not? Yeah, it's alright. It's just that you don't have much XP. You're taking damage. And while that might hurt, it's just a number. Look at this. Death. Death to the monster. We get gold and a Sentinel puzzle. The first time you lose HP each combat, draw 3 cards. See? Was that worth it? I'm not sure. And let's deal 30. This seems really good. I would assume that the banner color displays the rarity of a card. So this one being golden should be super rare. Take that. That's like a 1-hit on most enemies. Now we could heal. We could go to the shop. Or we defeat a monster, get a question mark, and get a treasure chest. And I think the most fun we can have is we take a look at what is in the shop, even though we can't buy anything. Then get the question mark, and then get the treasure. We can buy, gain 5 block for each card exhausted. So if I were to use this card, I get rid of all my non-attack cards, which let's say we have like 8, and I get 40 block in total. How about no? Question mark. Before you lies an elaborate shrine to a forgotten spirit. That sounds familiar. Pray, upgrade a card, or leave. Let's pray. I think it's never guaranteed that you actually get the option that you choose, but let's just hope for the best. Let's upgrade deal 32 damage to 42. Sure. Now for a chest. In those chests, there's always something that is good. In this chest we get Preserved Insect. Enemies in elite combats have 25 less HP. So the big guy who dealt too much damage, he has 25 less, as well as the final boss of this act. And we get some gold. Let's defeat an elite. Oh, it looks so interesting. That kind of looks like a virus. Hit it 3 times, and now it's stunned. Awesome. Which means I think it just skips its turn. Correct interpretation. We can deal 42, which I would like to do, but then I take 18, and then I'm pretty bad. Question for myself, which I will just figure out while playing this. Is a power card that one? The answer is no. Never mind. Okay. Let's just get 10 armor, because why not? And deal 6 to it. Yeah, this is bad. I might need to use my relics here to not die. It's gonna deal 18. We took damage because of this relic. We get 3 cards that we draw for free. And we also get 1 mana, 1 extra energy because of the Happy Flower. I think we just go with this. So we don't take any damage. And I probably should have used this one first. There's 1 less for each time you lose HP this combat. Deal 18 damage. That's a pretty good card. Also, I could have just used this one. Never mind. End turn. If you were to use that and it loses strength, then it just deals less damage, but because you block it anyways and I messed up the order and didn't read my cards, well, didn't matter much. This tries to do a negative effect, and I think we just deal 42. Yep, that seems about right. Siphon Soul. Let's kill it. Now we get another relic. Another relic. Wing Boots. You may ignore paths when choosing the next rune to travel to 3 times. Not too sure what it means, but we will find out. Can only be played if every card in your hand is an attack, deal 14 damage. Sure. Let's take this one. Question mark time. Where are my AoE effects? The tiny mushroom monsters attacking us. Oh, this is good. Okay, so this one deals damage to everything and restores health equal to the damage we dealt. Thing is though, we have absolutely no buff, which means we only heal for 9. Which I think is still pretty good. And then we go with this. That means we only take 4 damage. Quick mass. That's that. Feels like a meteor that rains down from the sky. Do we want Metalize? No, that's boring. Because 1 is for each time we lose HP. This combat. Let's go with that. Because I tend to take some damage here. So we could rest right now and restore 30% of our health. Or we click on the question mark. Now I would like to play it the smart way. But we foilize an elaborate shrine to a forgotten spirit. That's the 3rd time. Right, transform a card. Okay. Let's transform block. Oh, it's random? I thought it like upgrades that into... Oh. And I take the uppercut. I would like to have more block cards though, because I'm kind of dying and we face an elite. Yeah, this is not good. Artifact. Okay. This guy loses their strength and nothing happened. Oh, I should have read the effect. Artifact means negates 1 debuff. Whoopsies. That's not good. We kill it. Thank you, random. Now we might take 9 damage, but hear me out. We're not dead yet. That's the important part. We're not dead yet. And we kill it. Easy. We can get a bag of marbles. At the start of each combat, apply 1 vulnerable to all enemies. Vulnerable means they take more damage. I like that. Gambler's Brew. Discard any number of cards, then draw that many. You can deal 12 damage and apply weak. Gain 5 block. Upgrade a card in your hand for the rest of combat. I go with Shrug It Off. Feeling like Taylor Swift. She used to shake it off and we shrug it off. And we rest to heal up before the final fight. Let's restore some. Okay. Final fight of this act. Of act number 1 against the slime monster, and we call him Gibby, like the man from iCarly. I think we start by doing this. Wait. We should rate. It has split. When its HP is at or below 50%, we'll split into 2 smaller slimes with slime boss's current HP. We gotta use this card. Okay, I think we start by doing this. Get rid of the block effect. Hopefully only draw attack effects, which we actually did. Because then we can use this one for free. This deals 21. We gotta use this or we lose it. And we also strike. And it doesn't split? Awesome. It goes for Goop Spray. Now we get slimed. Ah. This enemy's intentions are unknown. But they're not attacking. Okay. I still like to go for block though, because I don't want to lose this, but... Oh, here's the thing. Do we strike and then it splits into 2 enemies? Or do we wait for the random effect? I'm kind of afraid of the random. So I think we let it split. Which should happen right now. Yep. Oh, they each get their HP. Oh. I thought it's... Oh. We could start by random, but we can also start by drawing a card. We make this one weak. And then go for random. That's kind of good. For this. Deal 12 damage can be upgraded any number of times. Okay. Let's go with this. Let's go with Cleave. And turn. Doesn't that mean if I go for this, and then I do this, then it just dies and it doesn't split? Is that the strategy here? Because what is that can't split. I think that's how it's supposed to be played. And I noticed that 3 minutes in. Slimed. Awesome. We might take some damage here. Can we use one of the potions? We're gonna drink this potion. Get rid of strike. Slimed. Honestly, I don't like this one. And let's draw 3 instead of using the spell that does the same. And then we take 16 damage for I don't know what reason. Wait, it splits now. Oh. Wait, is that good? Wait, if it splits, it doesn't deal damage, right? Because that's what it's supposed to... Yeah. Ooh. Okay. Good turn, but we're getting slimed here. We get the AoE effect. I think we should instantly kill this one instead of healing. Because when we finish this battle and go to the final act, we heal anyways, so... I think we just kill it. Deal some damage to that, and our turn, and next turn we just win. Kill it. Easy clap. Getting 2 achievements here. 100 gold and we add a card. Do we want Feet, Reaper, or Bludgeon? We do have Bludgeon, but this one has the word Fatal, which means triggers whenever this card kills a non-minion enemy. That might be good. And now we can open our chest for this act and we can choose a relic. Do we want Sacred Bark, double the effectiveness of potions, gain energy at the start of your turn, at the end of combat, shuffle 2 wounds into your draw pile, or we gain energy at the start of our turn, and whenever you open a non-boss chest, obtain a curse. I think we take this one. I dislike the other 2 ones. Yeah, I don't like them. Now that the first act is done, we enter the second act, the city, and we again have like a giant map full of decision making in front of us, and then we face another boss, and then so on and so forth. And this is how it goes. Now, if I wouldn't constantly talk, this would not take 36 minutes. I would assume like 10 to 15 minutes for the very first act. And that is when you're used to the cards and you know that the sword deals 6 damage, the one card exhausts, when you're getting used to all the effects your cards do. I would say though, we used a feature which is really smart from the developers that they built in. If you don't have time to finish a run, you click on your settings, and then you just save and quit. And they saved the run. You can continue this whenever. So I would say at this point, I would just tell you exactly, eye to eye, what I like about Slay the Spire. Most importantly, the game is so much fun to play. And while it's so much fun to play, it's a one-time purchase on Steam and then never again. Everything in this game is free. So if you could choose between, I think, 10 packs in Hearthstone or this game for lifetime access with every update ever, and you get infinite playtime in here, what would you choose? If you want to have fun in the game and you like the idea of a roguelike game where every single time you start a game, it feels different, and this is 100% the game for you. Looking at the Steam page right now, this is still overwhelmingly positive when it comes to ratings. 97%. That's better than a couple of my YouTube videos when it comes to pressing the like button for the YouTube algorithm, which is free. I've only played for a couple hours in total, but this one is recommended after 45 hours. This one is recommended after 1000 hours, 165, 75, pretty much everything in here is recommended. When I don't play Hearthstone and I play games off stream, it's either a roguelike or it's Minesweeper. And I'm not kidding, I play 2 types of games, roguelikes and Minesweeper. And card games on YouTube and Twitch. And this is the mix between roguelike and card game. Every run feels fresh, you get different relics, different encounters. And even when we had the exact same shrine kind of 3 times, there were different answers and results. And they even used different artworks for the same thing that happened. I'm a big fan of this game, and I would really recommend you guys to check it out. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. I really enjoyed this game. It's a ton of fun to play. And have a good rest of your day. Take care.